Hey Stampin' friends, Darlene with Darling Stamps. So I'm using my Stamparatus, and this is a stamping positioning tool. Some may know of a tool called the Misty. Very similar. This is actually a Stampin' Up tool. And so I wanted to kind of go through a project that I'm going to be doing and how I can use this in mass production. It also, positioning means it's going to get straight. It's going to be able to be multiple times if it doesn't get enough ink. But I wanted to kind of go through a little bit of the tidbits on this. So it does come with, and let me put my stamps off here that I'm working on. So it does come with two different what we would call our stamping clear station, and it has a magnetic base. Now I've used my washi tape so I can get it off of the base, and these two will never kiss. They are very, very, very strong. And there is actually a warning, because if you have a pacemaker, that's how strong these are. But they do not live near each other, and they'll never kiss, because they can crack or break trying to get them apart. They do have a home, which lives back here. And of course, you see how separate they are here. So I keep that on here. There are some rubber mats, rubber feet in the bottom of these, and this can be moved into different locations depending on what you're doing with your stamp positioning. But I like the fact that we can have two different sides in two different ways. Now there's also for your cling stamps that have the extra cushion, you would not need a mat. But on the case of polymer, which we basically have to have an extra spot. So we have a mat that can kind of put that together from the standpoint of our stamps. If we were to use, just use something right quick. So these polymers don't have any cushion. So we would need to put that down, and we'll pop it up there in the corner here. And we can position where we want. Make sure it's straight. Now, because my measuring is down here, which is fine, and you have a mat, you don't normally see that. So there are half pages that come with the grid paper. So I'm going to put that down, get that right lined up here, and oh, and so get my magnets on here. All right, then I can basically pick that up here and do a quick stamp. Now I'll purposely, not put a lot of ink on, just because I want to show kind of what happens sometimes when, look at that, I don't have enough ink. Normally we would go, oh, we have wasted paper, and we are not going to be able to recover. But with the positioning, it comes down exactly where I want it, and I can add more ink to it. So I want to show you a project that I'm doing so we can do a mass production, and we'll get started. Okay, so I do not need, because of my stamps, to have the mat on, so I can use my grid that's on here. I want to, so if you put this all the way in the corner, when this comes down, if you're trying to press that image at the very corner, you may find that you won't get a crisp corner. So you may have to come away from the corner just a tad. I would like to have a little bit more open space. So I'm going to line this up with my grid, put my strong magnets, and stay as far away from my image as possible so I don't get any overlap. So I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to go through my stamps here and get my little horse. I'm going to take this, get that going, and then we are going to get that down first. Let me get my brown. I'm using Early Espresso, and this is the ivory, our ivory paper cardstock. Alright, so I need to position this a little more because it looks like I am too far over and I didn't get enough ink on. But how nice! I'm not going to waste my paper because I didn't have enough ink on it, so now it's perfect. Now, I also want to put some trees on here, so I'm going to position those right there and bring my other side. So now I have kind of a two-step, because I have two different, and I'll put a third stamp on, but for right now, we're just doing that. Put my green on there, put my trees, and there's enough ink, so we're good. All right, so now we can actually move this off, and remember where my positioning is, so I'm coming off of the 1/2 inch and at the inch. Okay, so now I can literally take the next piece and keep on going. So I'm at my inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, let's put this down. Anyhow, I have I just got my pumpkin, and so it'll take a little bit of time to get the alternates, which are ever so popular nowadays, and I'll put some time into posting some of those, but I just wanted to use, because a couple of my customers have purchased the Stamparatus, and are like, you know, there are some neat little tools to look at from the standpoint of what makes our stamping easier, what makes our projects wonderful. So I thought this would be a great opportunity, since people are looking at the new catalog, they're looking at the different types of things that can kind of step up their stamping and their projects. So I thought, what the heck? I have a project that I'm doing with these horses, and this is from the Let It Ride. This is the stamp set that has the horses and the different little horses and the trees. And so anyhow, I have a customer that I make cards for. So this is basically the best tool, I would say, if I were to have my favorite in my stash, because, oops, looks like I'm going to need to get more of that. Before I put that down, I'm going to get some more washi on that. Yeah, the benefits of having a stamping positioning tool is that it really helps with not only with keeping the image sharp, but it also helps to just did that wrong. Keeping the image sharp and also double stamping it. So if you were looking at your I have having trouble with my washi tape. But anyhow, if you're looking at your tools in your arsenal and you are doing a project that takes multiple, I think of Christmas time and all the stamps that we use or go through for our cards, how beneficial it is to be able to have a tool like this. So anyhow, I figured that I have a couple more to go, and rather than you just continuing to watch me stamp the same thing, I will be back when these are done. Okay, so now that I have my pile, and these are all of my stamped images for my cards, now I wanted to also point out, so I had my trees, I had my horse, let me just do this, I had my horse. And so it really gives you not just 2 surfaces, but 4, because now I can flip this and keep on stamping, and I have a thank you that I'm going to put over here. And it's going to be with different ink than what I have done on the trees. And there we go. Now, it is, I always, I don't use bleach on my clear, but I do use wipes. They're easy, they're quick, and I can get those cleaned up. So I now have my thank you, and I can now use the other surface. One of the things that you have, not only the foam, the piece, but we've got the two clear, which gives you four different surfaces, and then the reversible plates makes it nice, because actually, if you're stamping, you just keep on going through and getting your whatever your ink, like the darkness of it. That's what I'm trying to get at. All right, so my biggest thing in doing projects like this is to have as many cards as possible. And so this positioning tool gives you the two sides. It gives you the ability to doing multiple cards. And I was trying to think of any other tips, but I think the biggest thing is looking at this as a tool that can help in, oh, see, okay, as you can see, here, if we put it a little closer, let me take this off. All right, see how on the thank you, it didn't make it all the way? So that's what makes it nice, because most of the time, if we don't get it, it is stuck. And you have just, you know, and it looks like my magnet's a little bit, oh, boogers. Okay, this is why we use our grid and make this all nice. So, but I got that on, so we will just continue in doing this. All right, so I've got the hinges, and what I'll do real quickly as I finish this, and I'll come back and I'm going to show you a really cool tip of doing the hinges. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's look at a really cool thing that I want to show for using this to the ultimate degree. I just realized that I did not put my mat, and if I use polymer, I need extra cushion. So let me put my mat in here, and I got my grid paper. I'm going to put this back here snug, and then get my little magnet to keep my sheet from moving. All right, I'll put that straight best I can. Okay, and let's pick that up. Fantastic. Okay, so let's start with the first color. Again, this is what's going to be very cool about our project. Get that down, make sure I get some good coverage, and I did. All right, now let's get my baby wipe. I thought I had this out already, but the one that I have, I've already used. Okay, so get that wiped off. All right, keep that as is. Here we go. Take it off, move it down one. Now I want to use, this is Daffodil Delight, and it kind of goes on to the grid, but we are just going to get our color on there. Oh, didn't get enough coverage, so let's do that one more time. And that's what I think is, I mean, I can't tell you how many projects I have thrown away because I didn't get enough ink on it. So, you know, then I'm like, well, great. Now, to try to, and the Stamp-A-Jig was one of the ones that Stampin' Up! Had once upon a time. Move this down one more. And then we'll use some pumpkin. Anyhow, it took some time, and it wasn't exactly a science, but for the most part, it worked out good. And let's see, a little bit more. Anyhow, this is just trying to get it in that corner there. There we go. Just a great tool. And by using the lines on here, I can just keep on going one more time. One more color. Anyhow, I wanted to kind of utilize this, kind of show you the benefits. Ooh, wow. You just saw that live and on. It's recorded on tape. Oh my gosh. I just put my ink pad upside down and got it everywhere on my desk. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, you know, I do try to, I was going to erase this, but no. You can just see that on the desk of pure creativity, this is what happens. All right, so get that done. Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to come back and show you my end product of the Let It Ride horses that I did, and I'll be right back. Well, now that I got my mess cleaned up, just wanted to show you the end product of the card I made. And just to give a little tip, so this is our wood grain designer series paper, and whenever you're trying to get one layer, add some pop to it. What basically I did was I used the same color paper, and also if you're using cards that's kind of light, by adding a layer on top, it's the same color, but then I went around and used the same and just sponged the edges, the same color as I did the thank you. I sponged around the side, and then putting that down, it just kind of gives it a nice clean one layer. But I have 25 cards I've made of this. Took me about a half an hour. With the Stamparatus, it makes your jobs really quick. So, oh, and here's how I store when I'm working on my stamps. That's how I store those. So anyhow, that is the Stamparatus, having just a perfection of your cards, using the grid paper, using the multiple hinges, using the foam mat, or without the foam mat, the grid paper, and it's a good must-have tool for stampers, and whether you're experienced or new, having an image that you can make sure it's sharp and crisp and good every single time. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.